Good evening and thanks for joining us. A Kitchener man who was deemed a significant risk to public safety is back in custody tonight. He was arrested just one day after his release into the community on Thursday. Kevin Koehler finished serving his most recent sentence, but breached the conditions that were then put in place before his release. CTV's Colton Wiens has been following this story for us today. So Colton, what led to this arrest?
Well, Tony, Kevin Koehler finished serving his sentence on Thursday after being convicted of manslaughter in 2015 for the 2013 strangulation death of his platonic roommate, Mary Ann May. But upon his scheduled release, he had several conditions put in place by a judge, and police officers arrested him for allegedly breaching those conditions on Friday.
Kevin Koehler is back in police custody, arrested just days after he was released from custody. Koehler was serving time after he was convicted of manslaughter in the 2013 choking death of his roommate, Mary Ann May. On Thursday, the Waterloo Regional Police Service issued a public alert that Koehler had completed his most recent sentence and was expected to live in Kitchener. According to police, in an affidavit in cooperation with the Crown Attorney, the WRPS Offender Management Unit requested that conditions be put on Koehler due to violence concerns.
The police can and do on occasion, although not really commonly, resort to Section 810. And that allows for a period of anywhere between 1 to 3 years, depends on what the concern is. And there are conditions attached to that.
The Parole Board of Canada had earlier heard when he was in a halfway home he became agitated, referred to his victim, Mary Ann May, in derogatory terms, and reenacted choking her by putting his hand on his own neck while describing the events that happened in 2013. The board noted that same night he got into a fight with another halfway house resident after he approached the resident's female friend.
There were some rather disturbing comments and actions made specifically in relation to the last offense. Maybe in hindsight, the Crown would say, well, maybe we should have applied for a long-term offender or a dangerous offender on this person. But you can't do that post facto.
Koehler signed a recognizance to keep the peace that included conditions for the next 18 months. The conditions included notifying immediately of any change in address, making no attempt to contact directly or indirectly with any past victims or family members of the victims or witnesses in the cases he was convicted. He was also to abide by a curfew and remain in his residence between 11 at night to 5 in the morning, and to abstain from purchasing or consuming any alcoholic beverage or controlled substances unless prescribed by an Ontario physician. But on Friday, a day after his release, officers arrested Koehler for allegedly breaching his conditional release to abstain from purchasing or consuming alcoholic or controlled substances.
Then there'd be a hearing to see if in fact that has happened. And if it's found that there has been this breach, then the breach of that condition is a criminal offense.
Now, Koehler was remanded into custody and was set to appear in court in Kitchener today. Schofield says if Koehler did breach his conditions, he could be placed on probation or put behind bars for up to 6 months. And this could continue happening as long as there are concerns about him being in the public. Tony.
All right, Colton, thank you for that update. CTV's Colton Wiens with the latest on that case.